Can you hear another one bites your dust in your head?
No.
Sing it, Ben. Bop, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-da. Bop, bop, bop. The Packers make another one bite the dust. Not there? All right. Hey, Ben, what do you think about everyone's playing I Want It All now on all these big things, huh? What do you think about it? You did the cover of I Want It All, and now it's on like big time commercials right now.
I think eating the Victory Nutty Bar, and that's about all I think about that.
Victory Nutty Bar, Nick. Victory Friday, Nick goes.
Watch, my Nutty Bar disappears, and then it's back, and then it's on, and then it's back. And it's
all right. We're not screwing around at the beginning of the show. Enough with your Nutty Bar. We get it.
My boss asked me what I was doing today, and I said, I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drum all day. And he's like, are you a crazy person? And I'm like, no, it's just Victory Friday.
Victory Friday. The only thing better.
Jason didn't know why people would want to bang on the drum all day after.
Because you don't want to work.
I do that every day.
There are alternatives to not working, but that's fine. You can just keep banging the drum. The only thing better than a Victory Tuesday is a Victory Friday. Welcome in. Bro, Viking Mo is on here to gloat.
Viking Mo?
Victory Nutty Bar. We haven't seen a Viking Mo in the chat in forever. Viking Mo! Welcome to the show.
Glad he's there.
Thank you for waking up our Packers. Get them ready for this Thursday night game. Appreciate that.
Viking Mo, you got a gift. I'm just, that's the only good thing about this. We went from Friday to Friday, and we still got a victory in between the two Fridays, so I'm okay with it.
I know. It's like, still got a victory this week. I
was pretty mad on Tuesday, obviously. And one more, I just got to say one thing, and then I'll probably not say anything the rest of the day because I don't want to talk. But there's been a lot of crap where people are being like, if people think that people that are, by people, I mean Nagler and especially Benke. Okay.
All right.
If people think that a wide receiver was going to make the difference on this team and they get all mad about not trading for one, then blabbity floop flop. I never wanted a wide receiver. I wanted a defensive lineman and or a top-notch linebacker, specifically J.J. Watt, who yesterday told everybody he didn't want to be a freaking Houston Texan anymore. So, God dang it, why did you bring him here in the first place? What the crap, you dumb freaking morons. You should have brought him back to Wisconsin, where he should have been. Trade whatever you need to do to get him here, and they screwed up. Okay, I'm done. But I never wanted a receiver, so shut up. People who are like, well, they don't need a receiver. I don't know why everybody wanted them to trade. Everybody's so mad about they didn't trade. That's why. You don't need a receiver. You need help on defense. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay, back to you.
You need a Watt, not a receiver. Plus, this is where JJ wants to be. See? He wants to be back home in Wisconsin. Right here. For my friend Jarina's craft store, J&J Craftwork. Now, I got something for you, but we'll get into that later. Should we celebrate a little bit and then I get a little snappy on Gutekunst, or should we start off snappy on Gutekunst?
I just got to say, Mo's stupid Viking head on here, it really is ugly.
That does suck. We should be able to block that from our chat. Block the Viking emblem somehow. Come on, YouTube, help us out. Damn it.
I mean, come on. Otherwise, though, how's it going, Rick and Bruce? Nice to see you guys.
Oh, man. Ben's tired, and he's not feeling that good, and he ate too many Nutty Bars. That's why he doesn't want to talk. No. I'm glad it was such a relaxing game last night for me. I was really chill the whole night.
What are you talking about?
It was a great chat. I had one going with you. I got in on you guys, and then I was on my laptop, so I could type fast, and I was just like, when I was firing up and watching all this stuff. And then Terry Bradshaw and Troy Fakeman and Joe Yuck, they all got me just going right from the start. Even before the game, Terry Bradshaw and his nonsense comment, just wanted to blast him in his old shiny head and get him the hell out of there. One of the worst guys in the history of broadcasting and doing highlights, by the way. And why the hell do they always have him do the highlights? He's terrible at it. He's terrible. You want to have him talk about playing quarterback back in the 70s? Fine. But otherwise, Shut up, Terry Bradshaw, because you suck at doing highlights and you also don't know jack squat, and your bias against Aaron Rodgers really pisses me off. And it's ugly and it's just blatant.
I kind of agree with him.
Oh, really? Oh, really, Ben? This is what you want right away? Fine, this is what you're going to get. Terry Bradshaw before the game. Who watched this stupid thing before? Yes, Joe Buck is terrible, Hauser. You're right. But
what is this? We got a Raiders fan, a Viking fan, a freaking Bear fan.
Blown up.
Oh, Mo, yeah. Vikings B squad, Niners B squad. Shut up, Mo.
It was.
I'll tell you what. Fred Warner was still on the field, and that dude's awesome. And guess what? The Packers could have had him a couple years ago. He's only 23 years old. Do you know that? Fred Warner.
Packers could have had him.
23. Yes.
How?
How? I'm going to show you how. Ben wants to start with this right now. That's what he just said. Okay, Ben. That's what you're going to get.
Okay.
You want what I had last night going in my brain? This is what you're going to get, Ben.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to give it to you right now. A little screen share, little violation of copyright, and here we go. Let's do it.
I do it all the time with Game Pass. So
I know. Boom shakalaka. Watch this. All right, Mr. Fred Warner. Check him out here.
He went to high school?
He was from BYU. Aaron Rodgers met him, which he just said today on Pat McAfee's show. Aaron Rodgers met him before the draft or during the draft time. Said he thought he was a great kid. Nice kid, worked hard, cared about it, good attitude, all this stuff. So Aaron Rodgers would have been down for having him. Okay, so he's drafted in the 3rd round. In 2018, pick 70 in the 3rd round. Do you think if the Packers would have used one of their first 2 picks on him, would you have been happy with that? Let's just see what the Packers did. 2018. Okay, they drafted Jair at number 18. That's fine. Jair's a good player. And then we got Josh Jackson. Would you have taken Fred Warner over Josh Jackson, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, no, who did we get in the 3rd round? Instead, we drafted Oren Burks. Well, here's something for you. You still could have had Jair Alexander and Josh Jackson. Why didn't you take that 4th round pick and your 3rd round pick and trade it to somebody and get up ahead of the 49ers and take them? Because you wasted your 4th round pick on Jamon Moore. So that was worth nothing anyway. Cole Madison, throw your 5th round in there too. Why not? Throw that James Looney 7th rounder. Just package them all in there because you're going to freaking waste them. And get a good player. Fred Warner, that guy's ridiculous. Can you imagine if we had him in the middle of our defense? The speed, the instincts, physicality. That's what could have been. All right, I'm done with that. On to Nick's fan. Terry Bradshaw.
Nico, what do you think? You like Terry Bradshaw?
I usually skip the pregame stuff.
Oh, you're lucky. It was pretty bad.
Good choice.
Those guys are, they got a shtick and they do their shtick.
I got to fix my hair here. Got to go the other way.
I'll say this. What's their main guy? The guy who the regular announcer guy. What's his name?
Kurt Menefee.
Yeah, he had some issues yesterday reading like the
prompter.
Yeah.
He
couldn't read yesterday. I don't know what's going on.
He was getting a little.
And I made fun of him, and Jesse was like, "Don't make fun of him more." And I'm like, "It's his freaking job. He's on national TV doing like reading the prompter. Like, how can you not read it? Like, come on."
He's going back to college, so he might be tired.
Is he going back to college?
Yeah.
Oh.
Plus, I'll tell you the other problem. He's got to hang out with Terry Bradshaw too much. Sucks for him. Probably messes him up.
Hey, Terry Bradshaw. There's a movie. I don't remember what movie it was, but he plays the father. Somebody in some movie, and for some reason,
know what it was. You watched it. Failure to launch.
Was it failure to launch?
And
where
you
he gets naked and you see his butt.
Yeah, and you paused it on that scene. That's so weird.
I don't know what. I just remember seeing it one time, and I'm scarred for life.
I know.
You paused it, or he paused it?
Jason paused it.
I didn't pause it.
Why'd you pause it on his butt?
Ben paused it because he couldn't believe it. Actually, he wanted to see if it was one of those body doubles for that naked scene. Like, I'm going to give it away. Okay, it was my one Hollywood performance. But yes, when you see Adam Sandler's butt in Mr. Deeds, that's actually me.
Well,
and it was and they didn't cast me because of my butt. They cast me because my head was a perfect match. That's why. Just so you know. I gave it away. That's my one Hollywood paycheck. I still get some residuals. So if you rent Mr. Deeds or pay for it on Amazon or whatever, I get a little back for my one butt shot. as Adam Sandler.
Whoa.
Not true at all. All right, Nico, tell us what's your beef or what's your good stuff from last night. Give me something good from last night.
I mean, they were moving the ball around pretty good. Adams is. I know you guys said a couple weeks ago you might want to get rid of him, and then he's had like 37 touchdowns since then. So if you guys want to critique a few more of the players so that they start playing good, that'd be decent. I think he has had like the best 8-game start in the history of the Packers, and he didn't even play 2 of the games. So he's kind of, maybe we should keep him around for a little bit, I guess.
Listen, I said it again a couple weeks ago. I was like, we have the power. If we call dudes out on this show, they all of a sudden are awesome.
MVS caught the ball too.
He dropped the one, and then he came back and caught it. And I love damn it.
Dad picked him up on his fantasy football team and started him.
It's because you finally dropped him.
Yeah.
Ben was the problem again. Ben was the reason Aaron Rodgers got hurt in 17 and 18.
Ben's a fantasy curse.
Then Ben finally got rid of him. Ben's like, MVS is going to be good this year. So he picks him up, carries him, and then finally let him go. And look what he does last night.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes, Terry Bradshaw is just bitter. I'm not sure what's up here. There's lots going on in the chat. All right, we try to keep.
That's good. You guys keep going. Chat. We might miss some stuff.
We might miss it. Let's see. Talking Packers. Are Bucks going to trade Giannis? What? Ekis, why are you getting us on Giannis here? Stop it. No. The Packers are not trading Rodgers, and Nico, the Bucks expert, says Giannis is staying in Milwaukee, right?
Ownership has said that they are going to go into the luxury tax in order to bring in somebody else good. The Bucks, as a small market team, are going to be willing to pay the fine that you get if you go over the salary cap. But there's going to be a short off season because they're going to start like by Christmas already. So
yeah, December 22nd is what they're talking about.
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of time for off season moves, so I don't know how they're going to work that.
Got to do a trade. What the Packers should have done, but they didn't want to do it because Goody likes to sit on his hands and do nothing. Likes to collect those draft picks he can waste. Goddamn Goody. All right.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I want Goody out of town. I like LaFleur, though.
Can I say something about LaFleur real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Last year, LaFleur took it hard, both of those 49ers losses, okay? And he said after the game, he's like, man, I got outcoached. We got outcoached. I think what this game yesterday proved is LaFleur did not get outcoached. Goody got out-GM'd. And when the 49ers don't have their good players, they're just as crappy as the Jets or the Jaguars or anybody else, which means Goody is the problem, not LaFleur. LaFleur's system works. When you can score over 30 points a game, and one of your games you only score 10 points in, that means you're pretty dang good on offense. I don't think he's the problem. LaFleur's doing great. I like him. He did not get out coached last year. He just went up against Nick Bosa and all that whole defensive line, like all number one picks on the defensive line, all that kind of stuff. And then the Kittle and all that kind of stuff. And the defense couldn't do anything because they suck. And the players suck, as we proved. And so LaFleur, I hope he doesn't take it as hard. I will say this. Stinking Shanahan is a douchebag at the end of the game when he's freaking going for it all the time. Just sit on the ball, jackass. Sit on the ball. You got your butt kicked. Take it like a man instead of being a little. And then he has his mask off, yelling and screaming on that one. I don't know what play. I can't remember what play it was, but he better get a fine for that crap. Rick knows John Gruden gets fined all the time. So Shanahan better get fined for not having his mask on.
It's a pretty serious fine, too. Don't they get like $100,000 or something like that?
Yeah, Raiders are like, they could pretty much field the whole team with all the fines they got.
Raiders got $1.2 million in fines already or something.
I don't know as much. They could pay for the top three. Hey, they could pay for the top 3 playmakers on the Packers offense right now, not named Devontae Adams, with that money that they used in fines based on our salary cap that I talked about on Tuesday.
It definitely could cover the Packers offensive line salaries for the guys that are playing, except for Turner and the tackles. Those interior.
What are you talking about? Lindsey makes $10 million a year.
10? What?
I told you that on Tuesday. Are you what is with you? Are you like deaf or are you just dingle donged?
No, I just don't.
I said, what do you think Lindsey makes? You said, $5 million. I was like, double that.
Oh, I thought.
Jeez,
Oh,
Louise.
I'm sorry. I
Billy
don't.
Turner makes $4 million. What's his face makes $8 million.
I don't
Billy,
really.
no, Wagner makes $4 million. Turner makes $8 million. I gotta have another 90 bar because I guess 2 in a pack. Hey.
I don't really listen when you talk. That's probably what happened there. All right. Hey, Bruce, you're supposed to be on that. Tell me what Corey Linsley makes and what all these guys make. Can we just say something? Let's give some props here. Props are due for the Packers offensive line group. Not the starters, but like the whole damn unit. Like, I mean, come on. They're just all shuffling injury. This guy playing over here. Jenkins plays 3 positions in the game. They bring in a rookie, and I mean, Turner somehow functions at both tackles. Like that group, 1 through 12, or how many offensive linemen they got on the team between the practice squad and everybody, all these guys that are getting in there. I mean, give them some credit. Like they're not good. They're not great. None of them are great. Not even Bakhtiari is great, except he's great at holding, according to Viking Mo. But together, they're solid. They get the job done, and they're stepping up regardless of the situation. Let's give that O-line some props. They're never going to blow anybody off the ball and light them up or whatever, but they're doing a pretty good job.
Coming into the season, everybody was talking about, besides the normal injuries, there's always going to be, what are you going to do with the COVID and all the extra challenges that was going to present. And a lot of the pundits were saying that, whoever handles COVID the best might end up having the best season because you're going to have to shuffle guys around. And we all knew that, there's going to be times where you find out 3 hours before a game that a guy's not going to be able to play. So by the end of the year, every team's going to get hit by it. So the ones that can handle it with guys moving around and shifting around and changing the game plan last minute, that's who's going to win.
Well, at least so far with the Packers getting it, it was backup running backs and our third string first round quarterback who is inactive most of the time. So that's not
Chris
so
Barnes
bad.
is positive this morning or yesterday morning.
That's true, but you just said last night, Ty Summers needs to play more, so get him on the field more.
Ty Summers is great.
He's fast, and he at least usually attacks the play. Ty Summers made me lose all my rage last night. I had rage going throughout the whole game. Rage. And then Ty Summers made that short yardage stop because earlier in the game, I saw like 2 short yardage plays, and I put a message in there. I'm like, does anyone have any confidence at all or faith on a short yardage situation that this defense is going to stop the other team? And I have none. It's like almost guaranteed. It's 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. The team's going to get it. All they got to do is hand it off, and they're going to get the first down. And so Ty Summers on the quarterback sneak. I love it. The 49ers, the Packers weren't set again. Maybe it was tactical. Maybe it was a strategic advantage because the 49ers like, they're not set like a bunch of times. Let's snap it quick. And they kind of messed themselves up because they forgot to block Ty Summers. And he tackled the quarterback and stopped him from getting the first down in a short yardage situation. And all of my rage went away just like that.
Dude, that play says everything about Ty Summers. It was instinct.
I know.
As soon as he saw the ball get snapped, he just went for it. Nope, he didn't wait. He didn't try to figure it out and what's going to happen? Nah, boom, go. I showed you video last week of Barnes waiting for stuff to happen, and Savage waiting for stuff. Savage he also had a play in the backfield this yesterday where he kind of attacked the line of scrimmage and went in there, and there's a bunch of guys in the middle. He probably wouldn't have made the tackle if he was all alone, but luckily he had guys around to help him. But I'm telling you, man, Ty Summers, I don't know why they don't give him a shot. Just let him play. Let him, and now he has to. Well, we'll see. I mean, because Barnes has got COVID or whatever, and Martin is he's close to, he was in the vicinity of whoever, AJ Dillon, and I don't think these guys are doing anything bad. Let's be honest, I've seen a lot of interviews with these guys. Barnes, Martin, AJ Dillon, they're all really religious guys, and I'm wondering if they're going to like church or something. Like it sounds weird, I know, but
hey, that's a good reason not.
But every time I've seen one of their interviews, they are always very religious and talking about, I'm just thankful that I got this job, and the grace of God that I'm here, I'm working hard and all this kind of stuff. And I know that Martin and Barnes are really good buddies because in the off season when they had Zoom meetings and stuff and they couldn't be in the facility, they worked together even when they weren't supposed to be like working, like off the books to try to, learn the defense and work together to learn it. And Martin said that Barnes was really helpful for him to learn it because Barnes is so smart. He really picked it up really quick and helped him get on his, P's and Q's as far as defense goes. But anyways, whatever. I mean, the only thing I can do is hope that it doesn't start all of a sudden you got like 20 dudes that have it now. You know what I mean? Like that would suck.
Yeah. But I mean, they've had it set up pretty good there, I think. And a bunch of those guys that are on the list now are just contact trace guys, so they're trying to keep it from spreading.
Why are you so mad about a 31-3? Where was the rage coming from when they're winning by like 4 touchdowns, man?
I don't know. He was freaking out, dude.
Why are you getting so worked up?
In the losses, I don't get that upset. Well, that's not true. But at least the Vikings lost. I didn't get that upset. I guess because it wasn't surprising. We said on our show, like, I swear to God, our show is the best. You got all these people in the national media that predict all this crap or whatever. And then, like, how many of them did they say, oh, the 49ers, I mean, they're going to surprise. Nick Mullins is going to come out and play great tonight. And the Packers are really, up against it here. And I don't think, Kyle Shanahan's a genius and he loves the challenge of having all these guys. And it wasn't just Joe, Yuck and Fakeman and Terry Bradshaw touting that flag. It was like all these other guys leading up to it. And then they're all predicting the score, and a bunch of them are 49ers are going to win and whatever. And those guys don't know jack squat about what they're talking about. But when you come to our show, we tell you what's going to happen. We say last week, if the Vikings stick to the run and run the ball on this defense, they will win the game. That's how they're going to win. And that's what they did. And they won. And I even said, I was like, to this point in the season, the Packers haven't had a team stick with the run against them. And that has benefited their defense. Now, we'll get into their defense because even though it was a dominant performance game, a big lopsided score, and they got that late touchdown and whatever, some might think, and people are saying, oh, that defense was so great last night. No, hold on. That's not true. We'll tell you what happened. But the offense was very good. I'm excited about that. But
anyway, as good as it could have been.
Well, maybe not.
Because I'm going to say, no, okay, I got to go on a rant about the offense now.
Okay, well, that's fine. You want to talk about MVS's third down drop? That's okay. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to talk about something more important. Something really important.
How about your man Aaron Jones?
How about the fact that everybody kept saying all the last 3 days before the game, Aaron Jones, he's just not going to play. I mean, look at you saw LaFleur in the press conference. I mean, that's all the guys on Cheesehead TV said. He's not going to play. He's not going to. And then all national media, he's not going to play. I mean, he's questionable. He hasn't practiced. Blah blah blah. And what did Ben say on Tuesday? Well, let me think. Oh yeah, Ben said Aaron Jones on Friday before the Texans game, before the Texans game, he said I could play now, but they're just not playing me. I don't know why, but I could play, and he wanted to play, and they held him out as a precaution because they were like, we don't need him to beat the Texans, and they said, we don't need him to beat the Vikings. That was a mistake. And then what do they do this week? They're like, I don't care if we're playing the B team of the 49ers. We need Aaron Jones. We don't got Jamal Williams. We don't have A.J. Dillon. And, of course, he played. And what happened in the first 4 plays of the game? Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones. Then, what happened after that? There was a whole series where we didn't see Aaron Jones. I don't get it. I understand if you're trying to say – this is what I would do. They're trying we're trying to save him. Okay, well, how about this? Let's use him, get a big, huge lead, and then save him. And then the worst part was Dexter Williams got hurt. So then in the end of the game, they bring Aaron Jones in there to just run up against freaking 11 guys who know he's going to get the ball, and they just cream the crap out of him. Like his last 4 carries were him just running into the wall. That's real smart. They should have just did the Lovitz play, before that. If they weren't, you know what I mean? It's dumb. And this is the thing that bugs me the most. The Vikings figured it out against the Pack. Our number one threat in the ground is Dalvin Cook. Maybe Madison is pretty good, but Dalvin Cook is really, really good. Let's give him the ball a crap ton. And they did. And what does LaFleur always say? We got to get our best 11 guys on the field. We're trying to find a way to get our best 11 guys on the field. Well, if we're trying to find a way to get our best 11 guys on the field, why isn't Aaron Jones on the field all the freaking time? Even if he's a diversion. He's not getting hurt, but he's maybe making somebody bite on a freaking play action fake or whatever. I am getting sick and tired of this crap. There should never be a time. I don't care who it is or what it is. Aaron Jones should never be out of the game, period, unless he's hurt or tired. If he is not tired or not hurt, get his ass in there, especially if we're not going to sign him back because we're probably not going to. Let's waste him. Let's use them all up this year so he freaking destroys everybody and we win the goddamn Super Bowl. Because if we don't do it, if we go to the playoffs and we lose because Aaron Jones didn't play for an entire freaking drive and Rodgers went back and pass, incompletion, three and out because he did it. He did it again against the crappy 49ers B team. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
With six incompletions? He
know.
went pass, incompletion, 3 and out? Okay.
There was a part of the game where it was Aaron Jones, and then it was pass. And then they had to go for it on 4th down, and luckily they did, even though there's no pass interference called, which is a bunch of bull crap.
What the? Nick's going to rage on that. That had me raging,
There should have
Nick.
been 3 pass interferences on the 49ers in that game, and they didn't call any of them. It was bull crap. And then Josh Jackson, he did grab his arm. If he would just grab him around the waist, I think he was going for the waist, and he ended up grabbing his arm, and that's probably why they called him. But still, the 49ers had 3 of those like that. And the one where Devontae, the guy pretty much ripped him. He's ripping his shirt off. He's ripping his gloves off. He's ripping his pants off. He's ripping everything off, and they didn't call anything. But anyways, that's my rant about Aaron Jones. Now I'll be quiet again. Okay, back to you.
Oh, you're right. I mean, it really made no sense to have Jones on the field that much in the first half and then bring him back in for the garbage time where he's going to get crushed because the 49ers are still physical. They still hit, and he was getting hit. So that's when if you got John Lovett's your tailback, give it to John Lovett 3 times up the gut and punt. I don't care, but don't put Aaron Jones in there at that point. That's dumb. Nico, why do the Packers – why is it seemingly all of a sudden the Packers get 0 calls? And when there are obvious penalties, they don't get called. And then when there are penalties thrown that should be a penalty, they pick up the flag, like in the Vikings game. Explain.
As a team owner, I'm not allowed to complain about referees. I can be fined by Roger Goodell several $100,000 if I complain about referees. The calls in the NFL seem to be random, and all 32 teams think that the refs are against them. Even the Patriots think that the refs are out to get them. If you watch other fan bases, Mo thinks that the Packers are getting all the calls all the time, and we think that they don't. So the pool of referees seems to be the bench seems to be pretty thin. I don't know if people aren't going into refereeing as much anymore, but it just seems like, maybe the review system just doesn't seem to work enough to satisfy everybody that the right calls are being made at the right times.
That's why I say, let's go, Viking Mo. You might be a high school official in Minnesota, but the NFL needs you. Get your stripes on and get over there.
Ask Mo how that guy that got hurt is doing, the one that got carried off the stretcher the other week.
In the Viking game?
Wasn't there a guy that got carried off?
Look at that. Nico, you're such a nice guy. Caring about Vikings players. What's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right, Nick.
He's still a human being with a family and all that, even though he's on the Vikings. And I didn't hear about how he did after they carried him off. He didn't move for a long time.
He was fine.
Well, come on, man. We've been screwed plenty of times.
Zimmer on Tuesday or at his press conference Monday, I think Zimmer said that he might be able to play this week.
Okay.
Whatever that guy's name is.
Okay. I thought maybe he's paralyzed or something.
Yeah, I know. He's fine. I mean, his head got beat up or
It almost, when I was watching it live, I thought maybe it was like Nick Collins' injury where he just, kind of got his neck pushed a little bit and then all of a sudden he never played another game.
Yeah, that would suck. But that's good.
I'm glad to hear he's okay.
Mo says he's okay.
I can go back to hating the Vikings. So.
I just don't understand it. I mean, those were obvious penalties. And this isn't just this game. This is like a number of games this year already. It's obvious penalties. And against a star receiver like Adams on a 4th down call, like Rodgers puts that ball right on him somehow. He only has one hand free because the other one's being just raked by the other guy. And somehow he kind of just corrals it in and sticks it to his body. But that's a 4th down play and no flag. So if they don't call that as a turnover on downs, the Packers lose the possession. I mean, come on. What the hell? It's a star receiver, a 4th down play, the only place the ball's going, and you miss that? I don't get it. Mo, was that a penalty in the chat? Go ahead. You can answer.
He knows it was.
Yeah. He also knows it's a penalty, pass interference on Robert Tunyon on the previous Sunday as well.
Oh, he knows.
That's fine. That's fine. Vikings can get their little extra break to help them out. That's fine. We know they need it, and they needed a win. 2-5. Ben said, Mo, I don't know if you're on this boat, but Ben was saying that, you know, a bunch of Viking fans actually wanted the Vikings to play well, but still lose that game so they could get a better draft pick.
That's what they said.
I'm pretty sure Mo's not on that, you know.
No, Mo wants to win. He said that last week. He said that he wants to have meaningful games in December. That's what he said. So he doesn't want them to lose. He wants them to keep winning.
Well, extra playoff spot this year, so you never know.
So here's my question to Nico and you.
Right.
But first, Nico.
Yep.
Does the performance of the defense, did anything in this game change your opinion on them? Or is it still
Yeah.
Okay.
That was not the 49ers team that we met twice last year. I mean, all the things that you would have worried about coming into that game wasn't there. Kittle wasn't there. Bosa wasn't there. Even Garoppolo wasn't there. And Mullins didn't show me. I haven't watched him before. He didn't show me anything that he's a winning NFL quarterback in that game. My opinion has not changed at all. That was almost a free game, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I don't expect the Packers to win 75-0 like you guys apparently do. And they just think that, if Rodgers throws an incompletion that we should cut him. But, I think it was a pretty good game overall against a substandard team.
Well, here's the good news. Jaguars are next. So,
they don't have an NFL winning quarterback either.
He's hurt. Yes, he's not even playing this week, by the way.
They do have
I cut Gardner this week in fantasy, by the way.
Oh
no!
Can we play the Titanic music?
I gave up on him. I got Justin Herbert. He's the man.
Oh yeah, Fitz Herbert. They do have my fantasy number one running back though, and Robinson. He's doing good. So against the Packers, I'd expect him to do well as well.
Oh, that's not nice. I'll say that. I will pick up a third string running back on a team that's playing the Packers and start him because my team is so bad. He'll give me more points than probably most of my guys.
I'll trade you one of my backup running backs since you cry about it all the time.
Yeah, Mr. Stole my guy.
You can have him.
You stole my guy. You're the guy who stole him.
Make me an offer.
I want to say this about last night's game. All right. Because I'm still happy, Jason, right now. I'm going to get ready to Jason in a little bit. But last night's game, I think the offense showed a lot. I was impressed. Like I said, the injuries on the O-line, they held up. They did well. Because the Vikings, whatever. Sorry. Still Viking. There's too many Viking heads in the chat. I'm getting screwed up here. The 49ers defense, even though missing some of those stud pieces, are still really good. And they still had a lot of good players. And they were doing very well. Like they had a very good pass defense, ranked well, all this sort of stuff. And the Packers did, the Packers offense showed a lot to me last night. They ran the ball pretty well. Of course, it helps to have Jones back to find those little creases because the offensive line ain't going to open up big holes, but Jones can open up little creases. And Rodgers was awesome last night. All right. Like he ball placement on a bunch of throws, getting guys open. If Quez doesn't drop the third down, could have been even better, And on top of it, I just really liked, I saw a lot more toughness. I saw a lot more fire from them. When they scored touchdowns, guys were like all in there, excited and celebrating with their teammate and all that stuff. The offensive linemen are getting in there. Rodgers was getting in there. Super excited when MVS caught the second touchdown because he actually made an adjustment that he needed him to make and caught the ball. So, I just love the fire from the offense last night. I thought it was there from the start of the game, and that was really impressive, and that's what they need. So even though, like I'm saying, you're not going to take the Packers offensive linemen and put any of them in the Pro Bowl. You're not going to, say that these other receivers are star receivers. You're not going to say any of that. But as a team, as a unit, as a group, fire, into it, knowing what the heck they were doing, mistake-free. I like all of it. I thought the offense showed a ton last night, and I was really excited about it. But I was ready for a lot of the game.
What I would say is, even though, the 49ers, what was their weakness last year? It was their secondary, their corners. Their safeties are okay. But their strength was definitely their front seven, right? And when you take away Nick Bosa and Ford, and now Buckner's traded, and yeah, they got Javon Kinlaw, but he's a rookie and he didn't really do much in this game. So it just exposes the fact that their corners aren't the best, right? If Rodgers has enough time, I mean, he had enough time to get MVS out a 52-yard touchdown because the pressure wasn't there in this game, right? The difference, though, that I would say is we still had to have an insane catch by Devontae for a touchdown on the first one. Aaron Jones only had 50-something yards rushing, even though he had like 15 carries. Though like I said, the last 4 were just running into a wall. It was just stupid. And we had a couple drops here and there, MVS and whatever, but it still wasn't like a well-oiled machine at times. I mean, we had the 4th down play too, which was, we're lucky we got a quarterback and a receiver who can do, special things when we need to be happen, when they're getting, when Devontae's getting draped all over. So it still was a lot. There was still a lot of plays where we needed Devontae and Aaron Rodgers to kind of just do something crazy to make it happen. And there was also great scheme plays, like, the big dog touchdown. Here's the thing I like the best. Today, when Rodgers was on McAfee, he talked about the big MVS touchdown, the deep one. And this is the part I like the best. He didn't look at MVS. He didn't even know where MVS was on that play, as far as he knew where he was because of the play design. But he looked the safety. He saw that the safety jumped on Tunyon, and then he looked over to Devontae to see what was going on over there, and he saw the other safety went over there. So he knew, based on what the 2 safeties were, that the middle of the field was open. So he just went back and threw it. He says, I didn't even see the MVS before I threw it. I just threw it where I threw it. I was like, I want to make sure I give enough time, leave it up there for a while to make sure he can get to it and catch it if it's not exactly right where he wanted. Because I'm thinking that MVS maybe was supposed to do his post was maybe not quite at an angle like that. But MVS adjusted to the route and kind of pulled it inside, moved into the middle of the field a little bit more and jumped up and grabbed it with 2 hands, which was awesome. I couldn't believe he grabbed it with 2 hands. Oh, if that would have been Devontae, or if that would have been Antonio hands, he would have jumped up in the air like this and caught it because he can't catch with his hands. But anyways, the best part is Rodgers. That's telling me Rodgers is reading the defense instead of like in the game against Tampa Bay where he was just looking at Devontae, and looking at guys instead of looking at what the defense was doing. Which is, you think he would know that by now because it's been 16 years, but still. But that's how you should know where your guys are going to be, because that's the play was called for your guys to be at a certain spot. So the key is to look at where the defenders are, and then that'll tell you where to throw the ball. And that's what he did in that play. It was 52-yard touchdown. So that's awesome. That makes me happy. Let's have more of that stuff.
The one thing I didn't like about both of MVS's touchdowns is he caught the ball and then flipped the ball away right away.
Yeah, he shouldn't do
I'm
that.
like, dude, with your hands and you're just catch it and hold it for a while.
Yeah, I would catch it and carry it and then cradle it.
But anyway,
I would have to have the official come up to me to get it from me. Just what's that movie? The Program, I think.
Oh yeah.
In the Program, the running back, the freshman running back he fumbles a lot, and then finally when he gets in the game, he runs all the way. He runs for a big touchdown, and then he doesn't let go of the ball. Then he starts walking back to the sideline, and the official has to run over there and be like, "Dude, give me the ball." And he's like, "Oh yes, sorry." That's what I want to see with MVS. If you catch it, do not give it up until somebody comes to take it from you, just in case. We don't need a Kelvin Johnson issue.
I don't know if that worried anybody else, but it was so
quick.
He barely caught it, and I'm like, whoa, let's make sure he caught it first. Hang on, don't be flipping the ball out of there so fast.
Yeah.
But anyway, 2 touchdowns for MVS, bounce back. Okay, let's follow up on that and close the loop on that, which is this. Aaron Rodgers, and here's another Hafeman and yuck that got me raging, which was Aaron Rodgers throws the 3rd down pass, makes an insane play, and no feet on the ground. His body's like this. Somehow he drills it over to MVS on the undercutting route, which was the best play for the 1st down. MVS drops it, and right away the commentary, whoa, Aaron Rodgers and all, yeah, he glared at him. I mean, he looked at him because he freaking threw it over there. He dropped the ball. He didn't glare at him. He didn't yell at him. He didn't bark at him. He didn't do anything. But all of a sudden, he glared at him. And then they're talking about, yeah, he just, He probably won't come back to him again in the game and blah, 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 and all this stuff. All this speculation, all this spout, vomit, vile, blah, 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 Aikman, yuck, buck, and all this stuff. And then you hear what Aaron Rodgers says after the game. And he said, yeah, it happened. I didn't even worry about it. We were over on the sideline talking about the next series. We're talking about what we're going to do. And then he talked about that play, the bomb to MVS for the touchdown. It's like, we went over there, we're talking over some scenarios. And we said, Rodgers was like, well, do we want to score too quick here or not? You're like, we really want to go for this shot, or we want to take more clock off? And he looked at MVS and he said, you want that play? And MVS was like, oh, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, oh, all right. So he didn't hesitate to throw it to him. He wasn't all those things Fakeman and Yuck had to say. Rage. I got to change my name again. All right.
Yeah. Peyton Manning used to get on the wide receivers' cases. Brady gets on wide receivers' cases. Aikman never did it because Mike Lever might have stabbed him in the throat with scissors if he would have ever yelled at him. But so
Aikman only threw like 15 passes a game.
Yeah, he did. He wasn't going to get on his wide receivers' case because that would have ended badly for him. But most of these star quarterbacks get on guys' cases sometimes, especially when they drop the ball. It's not the end of the world. I heard Rodgers said that the only thing that MVS lacks is mostly his confidence because he's got those drops. So then once you drop 3, then when the 4th one's coming, you're like, oh gosh, just catch it. Instead of just catching it and making a play like you're, been doing your whole life. Gets in your head.
Well, on that drop he had, when you watch it, he turns his head too soon. I mean, when you watch it slow down, right before the ball gets there, he's turning and looking for the defender. And that's all it was.
Yeah.
And I think another thing I brought up last week too. I mean, MVS does not go up and get contested passes. We know that. But when he's open, he can, he gets open and he's fast. But the thing, like I said about him too, is out of all these weeks where he's getting 1, 2, sometimes, 3 targets a game, he's still working his butt off on every single play out there. He's still blocking on the running plays. He's still running his routes to the best of his ability and doing things that, and sometimes he's a clear out. A lot of times on Devontae plays where he's getting these passes, MVS is the clear out guy so that Devontae gets the one-on-one coverage. I mean, let's be honest about it. So he does a lot of dirty work things and doesn't get much respect for it. I mean, he doesn't get the ball hardly at all. So the fact, and Rodgers brought that up today too. He's like, he hasn't gotten many targets. Even when Devontae was out, he wasn't getting that many targets. I mean, Lazard was the guy there until Lazard got hurt, right? And so, it's a thing where we just want him. I mean, all the talent is there. The speed is there. If he can catch, it's there. But I think we understand what he is. He's not a main guy. He's a great third guy who, if he learns how to catch, can be very, very, very dangerous. He's kind of like Oz Hakeem. Remember Oz Hakeem with the Rams? When the Rams had the greatest show on turf? They had Isaac Bruce. They had Torrey Holt. Those were their 2 main guys. And then Oz Hakeem would come in there and catch some bombs and do some crazy stuff. And you're like, God dang it, Oz Hakeem, I forgot about him. He killed us. And that's kind of what MVS could be. We just need Lazard back so that he can be our Torrey Holt. And we got our Isaac Bruce already with Devontae, and then we'll be good. And then it's going to be hard to stop him. That's why, like I said, I never wanted to trade for a wide receiver last week. I wanted to trade for a freaking J.J. Watt, pretty much what I wanted. But any defensive lineman and or linebacker that could help us. But let's give MVS some credit. I mean, we kind of gave him, like I said, we gave him credit last week. We did talk smack about his catching and he doesn't go up for the ball, but he never gives up. He works hard. He does do all the things that, like, if it was me, I've had some things go bad with me, and I just get down in the dumps, and I'm like, God dang it, this sucks, And then would I keep working as hard? I don't know. I think I would, but sometimes sometimes I'm just like, screw it, I don't have it today. I can't. It's not going to be my way. Where MVS just keeps working. So that's something to look up to. I mean, that's something for him to, as a fan, to say, okay, this guy could be down in the dumps with all the drops, with the fact that he never gets any targets, but he still works hard. He still does his thing, and he got rewarded last night with 2 big touchdowns. His only 2 catches. So, hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think with him, the other thing I mentally took a note of is last night they used him right. Like, that's what he is. He's a straight line speed guy. So have him stretch the field Don't have him try to do these different pass routes that are, precisely run or in cutting routes or things like that. That's not what he does. He's got to, if you do that, like let's say it's a 15-yard in cutting route. Okay, he ramps up his speed. Then he's got to shut it down to make his cut. And he's just not very effective at that. Let him stretch the field. And I love attacking the middle of the field with him because those throws are easier than trying to make it on the outside. And you give him more room to stay in bounds. And you've got potentially the ability for him to go against a safety versus a corner. So last night, I just thought it was a much better attack with MVS, and that's the way they need to use him. The other awesome thing I thought from the offense, and I hope this leads to a little bit of a shift, even when Williams is back, is a little more Tyler Ervin in the pass game as a running back. I liked some screens to him. I like some, hey, I'm going to, chip block and then sit out in the flat and be a safety valve. Like, yes. I want to see more of that because he can do a lot more with the ball than Jamal Williams can. I don't know what you guys thought about that.
Yeah.
Swervy.
Give him some space to make some moves.
Yeah. I would say Tyler Ervin, I mean, listen, not at the expense of Aaron Jones. God dang it. I love Aaron Jones.
Well, that's fine, but he can't be in every play. And
he can. God dang it.
All right.
Is Devontae Adams in every play?
He did, Ben. He did call for a sub after like those first 4 plays in a row.
Well, yeah, he had the ball 4 times. He hasn't played in weeks, and that's fine. But then the whole next series, he wasn't in there.
I know that didn't make sense, especially with how short-handed they were.
Not only how short-handed they were, but how great that first drive was. I mean, come on. You don't why change something that's working? Like, did the Vikings change? Hell no. They said we're going to run freaking Dalvin Cook. We're going to run freaking Dalvin Cook. Oh, yeah, I think we're going to run Dalvin Cook. And that's what they did. And then you know what? We're going to do a screen pass to Dalvin Cook because the Packers suck at screen passes, and he's going to run for 50 yards and touchdown. Why? Because they know it worked. And what do the Packers do? They drive down the field. Aaron Jones. Devontae Adams, great catch. Next drive, no Aaron Jones. Why? And then did they score that next drive? No. Why? No Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones equals touchdowns on a drive, period. End of story, or at least equals points. Aaron Jones equals points. Come on, LaFleur. That's the only thing you got figured out. Aaron Jones equals points. He doesn't have to get the ball. He just has to be in the game. Your best 11 players in the game.
I put it in the chat last night. I was like, Aaron Jones equals touchdowns or equals first downs. Jones equals first downs. That's it. Like he moves the ball. There's a bunch of running plays, and it's different when you watch Williams or even Dillon or whatever finish runs versus him finish runs. He can be physical enough, but he's also smart enough. He avoids the guys that he continues to go forward. So he just gets first downs. He's a productive player and a productive runner, and he's got the ability to hit a long one once in a while. But even when he can't do that, he's productive and gets the most out of pretty much every run. So he needs to be a focal point. All right, let's shift to the defense a little bit here because we've been talking about the offense was very positive last night. Very, very good. The defense, people will say, oh, they held them down. Okay. Nico, what did you think about the overall defensive play last night?
Like I said earlier, it's hard to judge because they didn't have, Mullins and they don't have Kittle. They don't have that. I think they're down a couple running backs. That just wasn't.
They didn't have any of the receivers.
That like he keeps saying it. I don't even know what's the B squad. That might be their C squad out there with that. That wasn't. That I didn't see too many problems with the defense because that was not a great offense. And I think by and large they shut them down until they stopped trying late in the game when it was over.
Well, that was interesting because, yes, they had, like Ben said, Savage was more aggressive last night, which was good to see. He was a little quicker closing on some plays. He was soft and missed some tackles too. They had a couple issues with the linebackers. Kenny Clark had another rough game. I will say that. If you go back and watch the game closely, Kenny Clark was not good again. Once they figured out, like after Preston Smith beat the left tackle Then all of a sudden, did anyone else notice that all of a sudden Zadarius kept moving to go against the left tackle, going to the right side of the defense? Because he's like, I want to chew up that guy. That's the weak link on this offensive line. So that's what Zadarius did. And
How upset are you going to be when Zadarius makes the Pro Bowl this year, guy?
He's going to make the Pro Bowl. I said it last night. Zadarius Smith is very good against not good offensive linemen. He's awesome against not good offensive linemen. But when he plays a good offensive lineman or a great offensive lineman, he gets stuffed. He gets shut down. But anyway, it was really
that rare, I don't think.
it was really interesting.
So most guys do better against bad offensive linemen than good offensive linemen.
It's true, but it just doesn't make him an elite player. He's not. But anyway, it was really funny to me because I saw that and I was noticed it. I'm like, all of a sudden, because even there was like a couple of defensive linemen or line shifts, and Zadarius like ran over to play the far right side and like shifted Preston over the other side a couple times. Don't tell me that wasn't because he wanted to go against that tackle. It was because he thought he'd get a sack. That's totally it. Anyway, Mullins made some bad throws on a couple third downs that could have converted, plays where he just missed the receiver or threw it in a bad spot. So again, the defense looked better than it actually is last night because of the San Francisco's offense. It just, the quarterback wasn't that accurate. The receivers weren't that great, although I do like the little 15 guy, and I like that other guy too, that almost made that really great touchdown catch in the end zone, but dropped it, came out as he hit the ground. Those guys were pretty impressive for whatever they are, 6th and 7th wide receivers on the team or whatever it is. And on top of that, wasn't a whole lot of running game. They didn't stick with the running game. They got behind early. So, people are saying the defense was great. The defense was okay. Still had some problems, but were helped out by sometimes you can be helped out because the other team sucks, and that's okay. We'll take that, but it doesn't mean your defense is good, is all I'm trying to say.
Well, I'll say it was good to see Raven Green out there. When he's out there, sometimes he's not the best in coverage, but he at least attacks. He at least makes a play, as opposed to Redmond or even Scott, who I was thinking was a little bit better than he is right lately. But Raven Green attacks, and he got that easy pick, which is awesome. That's great for him. He was out there in the right spot, right guy, Johnny on the spot to catch that ball. But he's also just, he's no Micah Hyde, obviously, but he's a guy who could be around the line of scrimmage and make some plays when we need to have him. Okay. Kadar Holman, I thought, played pretty good. There was that one play where I don't know if they were in zone and he thought they were in man, and he went all the way across the field with the receiver and 2 guys went with him. And then that one guy was wide butt open on his side of the field there, which was kind of goofy. Remember, it was just wide open, like by a mile. I don't know what happened on that. I know what happened on the play because you watch it and you see there's 2 guys covering one guy running this deep crossing route, and then there's nobody, in that whole spot. But so that was obviously a mix up. And then I like I said before, Ty Summers, I thought was, listen, he just knows what's going on. Like he always is in the right spot, or he's always moving to the right spot for the most part. And sometimes he misses tackles, but I'd rather have a guy there to slow somebody down, even if you miss a tackle, than a guy who's not even in the right spot. And then the next thing you know is a 39-yard freaking run by Delvin Cook. So Ty Summers needs to play more. I think he needs to be the guy with the headset on. And then they can bring in, Martin or Barnes can be the other guy. And Summers needs to be there so that he can be like, listen, you go over here. You over here, you over here, you over here. He should be able to be that guy. Because he's smart enough to do it. He used to be a quarterback. He knows what to look for in the offense. And I don't know what. For some reason, Pettin sees he has these guys where he just doesn't want to play them. Even if they're the guys when you watch the film, they're like, well, that guy's making a play. Like Kiki, for some reason, he started yesterday, but the game before against the Vikings, he hardly played. Even though I showed you video of the 2 games before that where he was making great plays over and over again. Now, this last game, Lancaster had a good game last night. He was holding his fort. He had a couple good tackles. He looked better than Kenny Clark did.
Yep.
So, and then Preston and Zadarius got some pressure, which is great. I like the hustle out of Gary. He didn't make that many plays, but there were times where the play got past him and he was chasing down the play, which is more than I could say for Zadarius Smith, who never chased down jack squat.
Yep.
At least Gary's chasing down guys. So I mean, I think the young guys are doing better. If Savage can be that aggressive like that, I'm happy about that. We got to wait to see what Jair's concussion protocol is going to be here, because that's a big hit. If he's not playing, it could be a problem. And Josh Jackson, I thought he held up pretty good. I mean, he just, he's going to get called for flags because he's grabby. He's got to stop being so grabby, but I don't know. Maybe he can't cover if he can't be grabby. So, I mean, if he can grab the guy and the ball's not coming to him because the quarterback won't throw there because it looks like he's covered and he's grabbing, they probably aren't going to call it. You know what I mean? They usually call it mostly when they see it, when the ball's coming. So, hey, if he has to grab and officials don't see it, I'm all right with it. Just like if Bakhtiari's got a hold, officials don't see it. Sorry, Mo. I'm okay with it.
I wish Bakhtiari would. I really wish Bakhtiari would still teach Billy Turner how to hold, because Billy Turner has not embraced how many offensive linemen play in the NFL, which is most of them like get their hands on a guy and grab onto the shoulder pads or inside here on the chest and just try to hold them. Billy Turner, if you watch him, he does it the way you're coached when you're in Pop Warner, or you're like Pee Wee or Bob Hafeman used to tell us. And it's just like, hit the guy, punch him and get your hands off. And nobody plays like that, but Billy Turner tries to. It's weird.
He doesn't get any holding calls.
Bakhtiari's got to coach him up and be like, dude, all you got to do is grab him, hold him here. It's way easier to block. It is. So, I mean, I don't know why they're not sharing those.
Maybe Billy Turner got a bunch of holding calls when he was a rookie, and ever since then, his coach was like, don't do that anymore, Billy Turner. And then now he doesn't do it anymore because he got 1,000 holding calls.
I don't know. One other observation from the defense, Nick, you probably noticed this. Dean Lowry, I think he's a good hugger. Because the way he tackled some of the guys last night, it was kind of like just big bear hug them. And then, so I kind of felt like that. Like, I think Dean Lowry probably is a Frozen fan, and I think he likes warm hugs.
Well, I don't have a daughter like you two, so I've never seen Frozen. Not a single time. But I think you should keep rating the hugging abilities of everybody on the Packers, and maybe one of them will give you a hug someday.
I got a hug from Gilbert.
Wait till COVID's done.
Back in 2016, 2015.
You got a hug from who?
Gilbert.
Woo!
Gilby. Yeah, he was a big hugger.
Did you initiate it or did he initiate it?
I think he was trying to hug somebody else, and I got in there. I just did my arm. I actually went high-low on him, and got in there, and he accidentally hugged me.
Was he hugging two people? Because he hasn't taken up two guys in a while.
He liked the double team back in the day, Gilbert.
The first Super Bowl season, not so much the second.
I wish I would have hugged Micah Hyde, and I wish I would have got his autograph. I didn't even think about it. What an idiot. Damn.
You are an idiot.
Micah Hyde, I expected him to be on the Packers for the rest of his career, and then I could have got his autograph later. And now I'll regret it till my time is over on this earth, that I never got Micah Hyde's autograph.
Could still happen, man. Could still happen.
I hope so. I got a couple of retractions. Okay. This is following up on the debate, which has now surpassed 100 views, by the way, Ben, the debate show.
Mom and Dad watched it like 25 times.
Which you said was a bad idea, which you told me was a dumb idea and all this sort of stuff. My debate show idea, and it was incredible idea. One of the best ideas I've ever had. Anyway, I got a couple of – last week I retracted my argument for Mike McCarthy as being the best Packers coach since Lombardi. Nick, did you catch that one? Did you like that? Did you like that?
If you say it, you got to stand by it.
I was just trying to make a counterpoint against Ben because he got to go first. And of course, it's Mike Holmgren, for crying out loud anyway. But I thought
you're doing the Skip Bayless. You don't really mean it, but you got to be controversial.
No, well, you know what? I thought there were some fair points in there.
Got a better win percentage, right?
And better winning percentage. And like I said, more division titles, more playoff appearances with the Packers than Holmgren. And on top of it, he's stuck with the team. He didn't leave him high and dry.
Which one of those two guys is a better hugger?
Loyalty. Loyalty means a lot to me. All right, I'm sticking by McCarthy. That's right. Sticking by him. Just like Jerry Jones will this whole year. All right. But I went back and I watched the debate and I couldn't remember. Like, I lost my train of thought when I was doing like the players that we should keep. And I kind of just blanked. I forgot about Aaron Jones. Yes, Aaron Jones should be one of the players we should keep for sure. Aaron Jones.
Oh, I thought you were just being a jerk the whole time.
No. I literally forgot what the hell I was talking about. And then I was like, wait, who did I say already? And I couldn't take back Tunyon because I think he is key, and I couldn't take back I think Bakhtiari because they suck so bad at drafting linemen, and I couldn't take back the other guy I said, who I can't remember now. Oh no, Chandon Sullivan, because I think Chandon Sullivan is awesome, and he was great in this game against the 49ers, by the way. And then I really do like Tyler Lancaster, but Jones is more important than Tyler Lancaster. So sorry, Tyler. You're a nice guy, but Jones has got to be back. And then Devontae, like, what, dude? Devontae just smashed my bash. I was bashing him. I was saying he can't beat people deep. What did he do this game? Beat people deep. So Devontae, you keep proving me wrong, buddy.
He's pretty good.
I like it.
Well, I'll say, so you guys just mentioned Skip Bayless. I was watching a clip today of him and Shannon talking about the game, and
yeah, what do you have to say?
He really hates Aaron Rodgers.
Of course he does. He's a freaking idiot. Aaron Rodgers played an unbelievable game.
You should hear the way he talks about Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. I mean, you would think that those guys are already going into Hall of Fame like tomorrow. I mean, he's just like Aaron Jones. He's the little big man. He's the real key. And he's like, and Devontae Adams. He's the greatest receiver. I mean, he's so good. I mean, come on. If Tom Brady had a Devontae Adams, he would have been so much better in the Patriots and blah, blah, flip flop and all this, and it just goes on and on. And that's the other thing. Every time, like I said, every time they have supposed to be Packers against 49ers game, it turned into a stupid Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers debate. Like it does every single time, which is why I haven't watched. This is the first time I watched a Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp thing in about 6 months because I know it's the same crap every freaking day.
You can't watch that stuff.
I was surprised at how, honestly, the way he talked about Devontae and Aaron Jones, I thought they were going to the Hall of Fame like tomorrow. Come on.
Look, man.
Let's go.
Devontae, a lot of time, Devontae's, the amount of openness he is not that great. So it takes a really good throw.
Right.
Like he's great.
It's a good combination.
Yeah. He's great at adjusting to the ball. I'll give him that. He's great at doing late hands. Like when there's tight coverage, he keeps his hands and then he's like, oh, there's a ball. Psh, I got it. And he's great. He's good at a lot of things. Like he's really good at a lot of things. And those are all valuable, but he is not that fast. So he doesn't get that much separation when it's, a deep route, or it's not a route where he's changing direction or he jukes the guy, out right away or whatever, not a schemed route. So you got to have a dude that puts the ball where it's got to be a lot of the times for him to be awesome. Like he'd be a good receiver if he was playing with a lesser quarterback. That's fine. But he wouldn't be an elite receiver if he was playing with a guy who couldn't put the ball where he wants to put it most of the time. And, case in point, and especially since he doesn't get any calls, apparently. I think Devontae Adams gets interfered with as much as any receiver I've seen in the league where he doesn't get calls, and he's one of the top receivers in the league, which is crazy to me. I don't know what anybody else thinks about that, but I think that's pretty clear. I've seen it over the last several years. It's ridiculous.
The other thing you got to remember about Devontae is when Rodgers was hurt and he was catching passes from Brett Hundley or whoever it was at that year, he still had a great year.
Yeah.
And he had to have Brett Hundley throwing the ball. So, come on. That was when I knew Devontae was good. Because before that, I was kind of like, okay, I don't know if he's any good. Is he just a guy who he got lucky because he had Jordy and Randall Cobb, and then he was the third guy. He was the MVS, and then he could get some passes and stuff because everybody's worried about Jordy and Cobb. Well, in 2017, when all that was left was him because Cobb was hurt and Jordy was hurt and gone or whatever. I can't remember exactly what happened, but Devontae was the only guy out there, and he had stupid Brett Hundley throwing the ball, and he still made plays and still moved the ball. That was when you knew, okay, Devontae's a number one receiver. Now, is he worth $17 million this year? I don't know about that, but he's proven it so far, at least this season.
Devontae had a little problem with the drops early in his career too, which gives hope for MVS.
Right.
MVS can,
so did Jordy.
Some guys drop a lot when they're rookie and they drop a lot 5 years later. Some guys drop a lot when they're rookie and they figure it out. So there's hope for MVS.
Jordy dropped a lot of balls. James Jones dropped a lot of easy balls.
Oh, he made some great catches though. James Jones.
But he made great. Yeah, James Jones made great. I was watching. Look at him. I'll tell you, man. James Jones, that whole freaking wide receiver team that we had, when we had 2011 was insane.
Because he couldn't get open that much either because he was slow.
No.
But damn it, he would contested catches. Give me James Jones over almost anybody. He went up strong. He went up after the ball, and he could catch the hard ones. The easy ones, he might drop on you, but the hard ones, he'd go and get. It's crazy.
You're not wrong. He dropped a lot of easy ones and caught a lot of hard.
He was, and James Jones was awesome after the catch. He was one of the. I told Ben this. James Jones was like one of the only Packer receivers that could break tackles since Sterling Sharp. They have guys that were maybe could elude guys, but as far as actually being physical and breaking tackles, nobody could do it. But James Jones could actually break tackles. He was pretty tough.
Hey, Mo's got a question. I'll tell you, Mo. Devontae Adams has got one more year after this year on his contract. Aaron Jones is done after this year.
Yep.
So I know you're concerned as a Vikings fan to see our two biggest weapons, how long they're going to be on the team. But, yeah, that's the thing.
Maybe
and then Eckes has got a good point. Let's get into this.
Yep.
Eckes says, is it worth trying to sign back Tunyon when we never really use him properly? And I have to say, Eckes is the same thing I said about Vitale last offseason. I would rather see Tunyon go to a team that's going to use him as a Kittle-type player if they're going to keep doing what they're doing here, which is call plays for Big Dog. And I don't – listen, Tunyon should be in the game. It's the same thing with Aaron Jones. I don't understand it. When you have a guy who's a playmaker, get him the ball. Get him the ball.
The thing is, right now,
Mercedes Lewis is the Jamal Williams of tight ends. He's going to catch it, and then he's going to do nothing. Okay? That's great. He's a great guy. Okay, he's a good leader. Throw him a bone every now and again because he's the big dog. Okay. But can we call some plays for Tunyon, please? Can we, get him involved in the game because he's a dynamic monster?
Oh, you be quiet. No Tunyon to the Vikings. No.
No!
Tunyon is a guy they could lock up for a longer contract, though, and not have to pay a ton right now because
that's the thing. And that's the other thing, Eckes and Jace and Mo and Nico. Maybe that's the plan.
It is probably the plan.
Maybe they're not calling plays for him and throw it to him because they know that if they keep – because they're like, oh, crap, we screwed up. We gave him 3 touchdowns in one game. We got to keep it on the down low. Well, you already gave him 3 touchdowns in Monday Night Football. People know who he is, you damn dum-dums. So now the rest of the year you're going to, not do anything with him? I don't know.
They'll do something with him in the playoffs.
And with Aaron Jones. They don't put him in for a whole drive. Why? Because they think it's going to save him some money and try to get him back?
Yep. Then they can get him for $8 million instead of – if he doesn't make the Pro Bowl, then they get him for $8 million instead of $11 million.
Well, he's not going to make the Pro Bowl now.
There you go. Nico, what do you think about those strategies by the Packers there?
I think you did pretty good there, Ben, but I think you should do a shot every time you say Tunyon instead of Tunyon from now on.
I'm trying.
And then you should also
it's like every other time.
Every time you say San Diego Chargers.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Just think of how great the show would be if you were doing like 6-7 shots every show. The last hour of the show would be so great.
Dude, if I drank, this show would be messed up.
I should do it once.
I'm drinking Squirt. Well, you can't even see it, but it's there. Trust me.
You should try it because I have a feeling we'd have to get the beeper ready or something because there'd be dropping some swears if you had a few drinks.
It'd be fun though.
It'd be like a Funyun.
Hey, Funyun show.
That's right. So I also have to get one since I'm in the mood to correct my mistakes and say I was wrong. I also have to say I was wrong about Randall Cobb. I was impressed watching him play with Houston. He is a better, more valuable, and then watching him in comparison to kind of the guys we got right now and how they function. He was a much more valuable piece of the Packers than I gave him credit for. So Randall Cobb, even though you're short and not that fast, you are a good receiver and you're reliable, and I missed that.
Your boy McCarthy just never used him right. He should have been the small guy going over the middle. He shouldn't have been the guy on 3rd and 19 going 30 yards downfield because he couldn't do it. But McCarthy would try throwing it to him 30 yards downfield, and it just never worked. But he was good at on 3rd and 6 catching an 8-yard pass. He just couldn't really get open in a longer pass.
Well, yeah, especially when they had him play outside and have him do a fly route, and you're like, he's 5'9", going against a corner that's taller than him and he's not that fast. Like he's just supposed to beat him straight up and then elevate over the guy. It doesn't make sense. That's not going to work.
That wasn't what he was good at.
Yeah. So now you're bagging on my McCarthy pick again? Damn.
Yeah. I got more to say too.
All right. What else you got? What do you got? Where you want to go next, Nico? It's your show.
I have got some beef.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Speaker view. Let's go.
The beef is not with the offense. The beef is not with the defense. The beef is not even with Gutekunst. The beef is with Ben and Jason Hafeman.
Whoa!
I might need some help in the chat on this one. But I've been watching you guys' show. And the amount of slander on Brett Favre is getting out of hand. It is going too far. You know, I know the guy has some interceptions. But you guys were doing the top 5 backup quarterbacks that played under him that were better than him. And you're telling me Mark Brunell and Aaron Brooks and Matt Hasselbeck and Don Mikowski, you're saying they're all better than Favre.
Aaron Rodgers, all backup quarterbacks of Brett Favre are all better.
Rodgers is fair. Those other 4 are ridiculous.
Hey, Hasselbeck was good. Come on, Hasselbeck was very good.
You said it's my show?
All right. All right.
Then on your guys' debate, it was top 2 Packer quarterbacks of all time. And he didn't come up as being one of the Packers' top 2 quarterbacks of all time. Ben didn't even have Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre as one of his top 2. That's the same as if we did the top 49ers wide receivers of all time and Jerry Rice didn't get mentioned and Terrell Owens didn't get mentioned. Now, if you want to talk Rodgers versus Favre, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to say that Favre is better than Rodgers. I'm not coming out here and saying that.
All right.
But I'm saying that guy had a pretty darn good career. Too many interceptions. He got a little too wild with the ball. But he did have a lot of wins and a lot of touchdowns. And, he did pretty good. He had 3 MVPs. One he probably stole from Barry Sanders.
2.5.
He's got 3 trophies on his shelf right now. He's got 1 Super Bowl. The guy had he didn't suck. When the NFL did its 100 best players of all time, not Packer players, not Packer quarterbacks, best guys to put on a helmet and pads and played the NFL, he was on that team. He's pretty darn good.
He was?
Yes, he was. He wasn't he? Am I wrong, Jason?
No, yeah, he was on there.
Yes, he was one of the 6 or 7 greatest quarterbacks in the history of the league. He was on there.
Yeah, he was on there. Zadarius Smith was number 99. Favre was 98.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. Zadarius Smith wasn't on there. No.
When they listed the best players in the history of the league, he was on the team. And when you pick, I'm not gonna diss Mr. Bart Starr. That guy is a legend, and he probably had a better. He's probably better even after his career than he was on the career with all the charitable work he did. And nobody had a bad word to say about Mr. Starr. He was, a legend. But I have to say, maybe your mom and dad aren't watching today, but most of our guys watching this video didn't see a lot of Bart Starr plays besides one, and that was a run. He did 1 QB sneak is 95% of all the Bart Starr plays I've seen. So I don't have a problem saying that Brett Favre is better than Bart Starr maybe at quarterback, having not seen Mr. Starr that much. And you said that, your critique was Favre had the best defense in the league the year they won the Super Bowl.
He did.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Starr had a pretty decent defense, as there's 97 Hall of Famers on that team. And the play that they were famous for was a sweep. Which was a Packer sweep left, Packer sweep right. I looked at some stats today, some numbers for you guys. The 1967 season, where the Packers won Super Bowl II against the Raiders, Mr. Starr had 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions that season. Ooh. Which is not, a super all-star team. Now, he's great. He's a legend. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. I'm saying I'm saying that if you're putting the top 2 Packer quarterbacks, Bart Starr and Don Mikowski,
Yeah, that's bad.
are not the top 2. I also,
Hey,
Ben,
It's
I've
my
been
top 2.
Nope, hang on. It wasn't your favorite. It was best.
That's what I
It's
believe.
true. If it was Ben's favorite, it would have been Hasselbeck and
That's
Mikowski.
right. My favorites have been Hasselbeck and Don Mikowski.
So you've been telling me, I think for about 25 years, how Brett Favre stole Don Mikowski's job because he got hurt one time.
Yep.
Now I went back and looked at it today. Mikowski's big year was 1989.
Yep. He was awesome. Then he sucked. I know. I'm not saying anything.
It was a fun season. Yes, I agree. That was when the Bears still suck was invented and all that, and it was great. And I remember that game like it was yesterday, and it was awesome. But that was 1989, and Favre didn't come with the Packers until 1992.
Yeah.
So in 1990, the Packers went 6-10, and in 1999 the Packers went 4-12.
Yeah.
And Mikowski started 16 of those games and went 13 touchdowns and 20 interceptions.
Yeah.
So Favre didn't necessarily steal his job as much as Mikowski wasn't that good. He was getting run out of town because he stunk. He had that one season where he was pretty good, which I think you call it a Ryan Fitzmagikowski season.
Oh.
In that he had pretty good numbers for one little flash and then never repeated it ever again. Wasn't any good with the Lions, wasn't any good with the Colts. He liked playing the guitar with Bret Michaels, which is fine, but he is not a better quarterback than Brett Favre was.
Yeah, third most famous Michaels. That's right.
Listen, you gotta think about this.
Hold on a second. I want to point some out, Ben. You don't just wait. I just like to point out that Nick, almost all of your beef here is actually Ben who set up most of those things, not me. But that's fine. I mean, I get it. It's a Hafeman Bros show, so by association, I'll take the heat. But Ben was actually the person who said most of that stuff.
You were partaking in the backups better than Favre conversation.
Well, that's fine. Because I do believe that Hasselbeck was better than Favre, and I do think that Aaron Brooks and Brunell were not as durable and didn't play as long and all of that, but I think they were also very good. Had they been given a chance to play in Green Bay? Who knows? But
I've had too many interceptions. Nobody can deny that. He was too loosey goosey with the ball. But a lot of the complaints you guys have, and not complaints, but the things that people say about Rodgers, that he doesn't get along with the guys. Well, Favre got along with the guys really well, and I'm not talking about his off the field stuff, but Rodgers had his Hollywood girlfriends and all that, and Favre was married to his high school sweetheart. To that extent,
found some other ladies to hook up with.
I'm not talking about his personal life.
Okay.
When you talk about great Packer moments, he had the Super Bowl, which was right there for people my age. That was the most fun season, maybe. It was that first Packers Super Bowl in the 90s. After the years of the 49ers kicking our butts and then the Cowboys kicking our butts, that those 2 seasons we were better than them. Well, for the most part, the Super Bowl year they lost the Cowboys, but next year they beat them. And that a lot of people's, when you talk about favorite games, it's the Super Bowls, and then for some people it was that time when Favre's father passed away, and then he had that magical game against the Raiders, and there was grown men crying over that game and all that stuff. The Angels in the outfield. He was responsible for a lot of good memories for people my age whose dads got to watch the Lombardi era, and then we heard about it through the 80s when the Packers stunk, the 90s when the Packers stunk, and then I was not, Ben, I know you're old, but the Bucks. We didn't see the Bucks championship, and we never seen a Brewers championship. But we got to see that Packers championship was the first one that we got to see for people our age, and it holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts.
Nico, you've never spoken so long ever.
I know.
So this really must mean something to you.
Damn.
I thought about it for weeks.
Wow. And
I will say this:
he went and watched all of our shows just to.
Well, it's about time you go and watch our shows. Dang it! Anyways,
I watched most of them the same week, but that one week he did like 17 of them, and it took me a while to catch up.
Okay.
But I was that's when I went to Colorado recently, and so on the way back I listened to like 4 of them. And I was
awesome.
like,
We got to go back to Colorado in a second. Ben, you got something directly?
Well, I'm just gonna say, the reason. Listen, my hate for Brett Favre is, it's a lot. That's the reason. I mean, come on. There's no actual reasoning does not get involved when Brett Favre is involved for me. I hear Brett Favre and I say, I don't care. And you know that. So that's the reason why I didn't have him on there.
You hate superstars. Yeah, everybody knows
I do.
that.
I've always hated superstars.
He bangs on
hate the superstars.
Who's my favorite guy? Terry Mickens.
You hate Giannis. You like Malcolm
I
Brogdon better
I
than
can't
Giannis.
stand Giannis. Right. I mean, I like Ray Allen. I like Ray Allen.
Favre. Sometimes, don't like Rodgers that much on the show. And,
he bangs on Rodgers all the damn time. It's annoying as hell. He pisses me
makes
off.
me mad. Listen,
dude, Rodgers just played an insane game, and you're not quite Joe Buck and Aikmaning him, but you're certainly not saying he's great. You're like, yeah, I mean, he's good. Okay.
Watch the start of the show. You said Terry Bradshaw was ripping on him, and it's like, hey, he made some good points.
Yeah,
what the?
That's what he said.
He made some good points.
Shut up. I'm going to go back to Terry Bradshaw's freaking comments because they were insane. Now, Nico, I will give you this. Brett Favre was better than Terry Bradshaw. Giving you that.
Terry Bradshaw's got 4 championships.
Favre's better. Favre is much better than Terry Bradshaw.
Favre's better. Watch this. Ready? Favre's a lot better than Matt Hasselbeck. How about that?
Ooh, I don't know.
Yep.
No.
Hasselbeck didn't get the same opportunities, but
Hasselbeck got screwed by the refs multiple times.
Hasselbeck had a very bad cast to work with in Seattle almost most of his years there when he was very good. Those guys led the league in drops almost every year. I'm just saying, like,
and every time, and I'll tell you this much, Matt Hasselbeck didn't get any bullcrap 1-2 yard touchdown passes like Bart Favre had.
No, because he'd have to hand it off and run.
He had stinking Sean Alexander there.
Yeah.
He would get
I'm sure that Hasselbeck never had any 1 or 2 yard touchdowns. He never had a single.
That's why, like, everybody makes. Okay, here's another thing. Aaron Rodgers this year, he's got 24 touchdowns. Last year, Last year, he only had 26. Well,
because they ran it a bunch last year.
He ran the ball all the time, and Aaron Jones would get touchdowns all the time.
Yeah.
And now Aaron Jones isn't in the game. And Rodgers checks out and runs the passes, so he gets all the touchdown passes. The big dog. And all these, and a 1 yard touchdown pass to freaking MVS on first down or whatever that was. So
they're not good at running the ball.
To Bart Favre because he wants the stats to look good. Because last year his stats didn't look as good. And everybody's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, he's not. Aaron Jones is the real reason why they're good. Aaron Rodgers isn't the reason. So now he's all sad because that's my beef. That's my beef with both those players. Favre, his streak of playing was more important to him than the team winning. And Rodgers' quarterback rating is more important to him than the team winning. And you could say that I'm wrong, and you'd be wrong yourself, because that is the honest to God's truth. And the year when Rodgers kept throwing the ball away, 2018, when he had the most throwaways in the history of the NFL.
When his knee was hurt almost the whole year, but yeah, go ahead.
Doesn't matter.
You got to get rid of the ball so you get hit again, dude.
In tight windows. Unless it's Devontae, which is good. Devontae's, you can catch him. But what I'm saying is he doesn't do the things that other guys do. Watch Justin Herbert. That guy is nuts. Because he's a rookie. He don't care. He's just like.
That's right.
Rodgers used to be like that. But then once his numbers got really high and he stopped getting to the Super Bowl, then he realized, oh, crap. Everybody's saying how great I am. Everybody's saying I'm the greatest. I got the greatest quarterback rating of all time. I got to keep it up there. And then when Russell Wilson's sneaking up every year where he keeps getting a lot of touchdowns and hardly any picks. Now Rodgers is like, shit, I gotta make sure I don't throw any picks.
Oh,
I gotta just throw it away.
10-30. Okay.
I gotta throw it away. I gotta get a touchdown. I got a 1 yard touchdown pass. I gotta hang on to the ball for 25 years and throw the 1 yard touchdown pass. Now, is it good? Is the Packers offensive line not very good at run blocking? Yeah. So it might be a good thing. I'm not saying that. But you have to admit, Rodgers said it in the interview with Mike Tirico last year. He likes being Houdini. He likes being the man.
Who wouldn't like to be the man?
Okay.
I was that good at something.
I'm saying
is the man too.
That's the difference between. That's why I don't like him. That's why not that I don't like him, but like
got the scoop. We got the scoop. He doesn't like him.
These are the things I don't like about him. I don't like about him are that he's more worried about his numbers than the team winning. I believe.
Not true. Did you also hear last night, Ben? Aaron Rodgers has the most is leading the league in like 25 or 30-yard completions or whatever, like deep ball completions. He's leading the league by far. So
that's called offense. That's called offensive play calling.
All right, fair enough. That's fine. And we know that his team gets like 0 yak. Like most of his receivers have like almost no yak. So
that's because he can't hit him in stride.
It's basically
and
ball
guys have
flight.
to catch the ball and make great catches of ball in the faces like Tunyon had to do 2 weeks in a row.
All right. Okay. Well, that's fine.
I'll keep putting you down.
That's right, Ben. You're right.
I'll keep cutting you down.
When there's 40-mile-an-hour winds and you're throwing a deep ball, that's right. You can
that's right. It's the wind's fault. It's never his fault. Never his. It's the wind's fault.
You want to know
guys
something?
Didn't have a good practice.
Hey, shut up, you loudmouth.
We didn't
You
have
want to know something?
We weren't up to play. There's no
Bradshaw,
energy. It's
You
never
want to know
him.
something?
It's never him.
That's not true. Shut up. He just even
He
said
never
it.
says it's him.
He's listen to his press conference. You weasel. What the hell's wrong with you? Did you hear him say on the? Because some press guys were like, "Oh, you give Devontae crap that he couldn't stay in bounds on that ball down the sideline." And Rodgers said, "Actually, I threw it a little too far outside, and I should have thrown inside. He would have scored." Oh, that's not saying it was his fault. That's saying right there. So shut up. Shut up.
When they win.
Oh, okay.
He will sometimes say, "Oh yeah, well, you know, I kind of underthrew, or I kind of missed a little bit." But when they lose, it's the wind. It's the guys.
He never said it was the wind. I'm saying it was the wind.
It's this and that, 25 other things.
He didn't say it was the wind. I'm saying it was the wind.
He said it's the wind. He said it's the wind on Pat McAfee today. He said it was the wind.
Yeah, the wind is hard. That's true. You ever throw a football in the wind, Ben?
I can't throw a football at all. I suck.
There you go. So shut up. All right. Now, I got to bring it back to Colorado here because I got to give some props. You went out to Colorado to see Steve-O.
I did.
And I got to, dang it, I'm giving more props.
Steve-O?
I'm declaring. How's Steve-O doing?
He's living in Colorado. It's fun.
He's Steve-O? All right. Now, Steve-O was by far, for anyone who doesn't remember, Steve-O was by far one of the best 2-on-2 basketball players of all time.
We played some basketball. I was terrible.
Oh, all right. Probably out of practice. And Steve-O was also...
We played horse and pig, and I won both those. That's some old man stuff right there.
That's right. Crafty. Steve-O was also awesome at 3-on-3. Very good. As long as he had a little move, because he was such a slasher, right? And he was hard to guard like 1-on-1. So if you couldn't pack the paint against him or whatever, slasher, gifted, like good soft finisher and stuff. Like Steve-O was awesome at 3-on-3 and 2-on-2 for sure. He
didn't like elbows in the gut though.
No, I mean Ben would come and throw him a cheap shot. And now it sucked, but
yeah, you're used to playing guys like me that had a gut. He was skinny, so those shots to the gut hurtled him a lot more.
But he would like slip between, like these little creases and just whoosh, get right to the basket. I love playing 2-on-2 with Steve-O when he was on my team. When he was on the other team, it sucked. So he was that good. Anyway, props to Steve-O out in Colorado. Okay.
So
I
just wanted to finish that Favre might also be a top 2 quarterback for the Vikings and the Jets.
Oh,
he is.
Actually, Mo is Mo's still here.
Mo's still there. I want to throw that one in for Mo.
Nice.
Mo was ahead of the game when it came to basketball because he social distanced on defense.
Oh,
nice. Very good.
Mo points out. Get those shots in when I can.
Mo points out he is still here. Mo points out that that Steve-O actually held the ball like a running back when he was driving through the traffic and then would come out of there.
Good stuff.
He tucked it in tight and then just came out, and laid it up nice and soft. Steve-O's so good. Good old Steve-O.
Dr. Steve-O. Put some respect on it.
That's right. Dr. Steve. I'm sorry.
Steve-O.
Dang. Okay, I just got one last thing to finish with here.
Oh, Mo says Brett Favre is not one of the top 2 quarterbacks of the Vikings.
Fran Tarkenton and who else?
Yeah, I don't know. Fran Tarkenton, and that's about it. I can't think of anybody else.
Wade Wilson? Tommy Kramer?
Culpepper's better? I don't think so.
Culpepper, yeah. Who else do you have over there?
Warren Moon.
Favre took him to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, nobody else did that. Cunningham, I guess. Was he the quarterback when they missed a field goal? Sorry, Mo.
Yep, Cunningham. Dang it. Vikings have some rough times. Think about the Bears' top 2 quarterback list. Who's that?
Is Hauser still on here? Sorry, Hauser.
No, Hauser's gone, I think.
We've had
Jim McMahon and some guy from 1922.
28 straight years of knowing who our starting quarterback is, which that's a dream come true for some of these other teams that have 2-3 guys every year they trot out.
Hey, 32 straight years.
I'm not.
John Mikowski was there.
I'm not counting Mikowski's 4-12 terrible seasons.
But it was clear who was after he won the job. It was clear who the starting quarterback was because the other guys stunk.
Who else was starting games back then?
Dillwig.
90 and 91. That was Dillwig.
Dillwig got a couple in there. I think Blair Keel got a few.
Keel.
Yeah. We covered that on one of our earlier shows, but the stats between Keel and Dillwig, and I think I pointed out to Ben that those guys were both actually better than Mikowski and touchdown to interception ratio and a couple other things.
No, Blair Keel
and quarterback rating. Blair Keel was
almost as good as Mikowski. Mikowski had the best.
No, Blair Keel had a better QB rating.
It was like 1 point better, so shut up.
Still better. Still better.
I really got the juices flowing on you guys on this show.
Well, you know what?
I was all ready to quit until you started going on your rant. I'll tell you that.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point about Favre. It's just when it's top 2 for me. When it's top 2, okay, the quarterbacks I've seen like pretty much play every game, Favre and Rodgers. To me, it's not close. Rodgers is better than Favre.
That's a fine argument to make.
And then the Bart Starr stuff is like, right, it's a different game then and all that stuff, whatever. The guy had to be efficient, in moments, and he was efficient, and he was multiple times Super Bowl MVP. I mean, he threw to a drunk guy how many times in the first time, the first Super Bowl. So
that's like playing basketball with Eckes.
Catch the middle one.
Oh my God, the things that went on back then, that's insane. All right, I got to lay on Terry Bradshaw here. Ben, I can't believe you said it. Terry Bradshaw before the game says this. He's going off. He is just doing what he does. Do you remember when, when Terry Bradshaw, when the Packers moved on from Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers started his first year in 2008? It started right then because Terry Bradshaw loved Brett Favre, and that's fine. You can love Brett Favre. That's cool. But that doesn't mean you have to hate the next guy, okay? But that's what he did. And he's been hating on Aaron Rodgers since 2008, since he got the job. Because
I love Mikowski, and I've been hating on Brett Favre this whole time. So
yeah, but you don't get paid a whole bunch of money to be on Fox for the last 20 years talking about football.
Okay.
All right? Terry Bradshaw's got to be professional. Once you get paid, then you got to be a professional again. But right now, you don't have to be. Anyway, that's another side note. More subscriptions equals money for us if we get there at some point. All right. And we can Patreon and do all that stuff.
Dad says we got to stop fighting.
Okay. Now,
start paying your guests.
We're going to wrap it up here. But Terry... Okay. Actually, I do have something for you.
Whoa!
Yep, I got something for you. A special gift.
Woo!
Yeah. It's how I keep my friends. I give them a gift once in a while. That keeps them keeps me on the friend list.
Nice.
Coming to your doorstep pretty soon. All right, so here's the point. Terry Bradshaw in 2008 sat there and on the football morning show, blah 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 pregame show, just hammered late in the season on the Packers, not Aaron Rodgers, where he was like, last year, 2007, this was a 13-3 team. This was a 13-3 team. The coach is the same. Everything else is the same. The only thing that's different is the quarterback. The quarterback's the only thing that's different. Not that, from one season to the next, football teams don't perform the same or anything like that. Or all of a sudden the Packers defense was giving up games left and right in 2008, which they could have won 8 more games or 6. I think it was 6 more games that year that the defense gave up in the fourth quarter after the Packers got the lead. But that's beside the point. Terry Bradshaw's just hammered. It's the quarterback. It's the only thing that's different. And now you have a 6-10 team. So it's all Aaron Rodgers. That's why they, he started off there. Well, anyway, he continues to go on his rage against Aaron Rodgers. And last night said this crap, talking about the Viking game when they're leading up to this is again before the game started when everybody's like, oh, I don't know, the 49ers, they could beat the Packers tonight. This Packers team, not very good. And look at Aaron Rodgers is, oh, we don't know. He's kind of one of the, is he looking angrily at anyone, or is he isolating guys, or is he whatever? Anyway. And Terry Bradshaw picked the 49ers to win, by the way, on top of that. And then he's talking about the Viking game, and he's like, they came out and they played flat and they weren't performing, and was Aaron Rodgers up in their face yelling at him and doing all this stuff? He's like, no, he wasn't doing that. That's leading. He wasn't doing that. And then he's like, if that was Tom Brady, I'll tell you, that team would have never played like that. That he would have been in their face and they would have never played like that. And excuse me, do you want to go back over the 27-year career of Tom Brady and examine and tell me that his teams never played flat, that his defense never played flat in the whole time? Give me a effing break, Terry Bradshaw. You do not want to open that can, because I can go back over the years and I'm sure we can find plenty of games where not only the team didn't play well, but Tom Brady didn't play well. So shut the hell up, Terry Bradshaw. Ooh. Get off of your Aaron Rodgers hate, because that is one of the stupidest things you've said in the history of your life, and you said a lot of stupid things. So get his bald ass off of here. Whoa. His naked butt movie ass off of TV. Go back to Failure to Launch 2 or whatever's going to happen, and just get off my TV screen. I don't want to see you anymore.
I think he's got a reality show. Should check it out.
You know that I was a Steelers fan when I was a little kid.
Obviously.
Well, I was. They were good.
Favre is better than Bradshaw.
I had a Steelers jacket because I liked the emblem. I was like 6. And I wanted a Steelers jacket. And my dad and mom got me a Steelers jacket.
The Steelers were good in the 70s.
Yeah. Packers weren't. What was I supposed to do? All I know is this.
What? What do you know?
Brett Favre would have never let the Vikings have that win.
Woo! I'm bringing them around. Let's
He would have threw it to him a few more times, and then they would have got the win. Or what are you trying to say? Come on.
Yeah, they would have won way sooner.
I'm just like to sit here and think that, because first of all, if Aaron Rodgers ever got up in anybody's face and yelled at him, oh my God, would he be crucified by everybody for it? And number two, to think that, like, if your quarterback is yelling at you and not worrying about how he can help his offense, the offensive unit, be better, but he's sitting there chewing out the guys on the defensive side of the ball. You know what most of those defensive guys are thinking if Tom Brady's yelling at them? They're probably like, shut up, Tom Brady. I got my own crap to worry about over here. Why don't you go figure out how to score some touchdowns? Freaking Terry Bradshaw.
Hey, Eckes brings up a good point.
What is it?
Or maybe it's Mo or whoever. But Eckes is talking about Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Keyshawn Johnson has got his wide receiver rankings.
How does he get a radio show?
God, I don't know. He wasn't even good. He wasn't even a good player. Did he even have a good season ever?
No.
He won a Super Bowl on a team with the best defense that year, and they were going up against the coach's old team, and they knew everything they were going to do. He sucked with the Jets. He sucked with the Buccaneers. I don't even know what other team he was on, but I'm sure he sucked with them too. He was slow. He was the number 1 pick overall, and he was slow and sucked and dropped a lot of passes. So what does he know about wide receivers and top receivers and blah, blah, blah? I don't get it. So, but Eckes is saying these old guys, they talk themselves up because they're on TV. You know? They have to be like, I don't know. Not everybody is like Michael Strahan, who's just a charismatic guy and everybody loves him. He's everywhere. Hey, Bradshaw's got to be a jerk or whatever. He's got to say stuff, and it's the same as everybody else, man.
He's trying to make up for his terrible job of doing highlights.
You and your highlights.
He's the worst at highlights, dude. I used to do highlights, and he's so bad. He can't even keep up with the action. He doesn't know what the hell is going on. Like, why don't
But
they just
that's
have
the
somebody else
point.
do it? Just let Kurt
That's-
Menefee do it or somebody. He's so
Started
bad
doing
at
it
it.
because he's so bad at it. Because it used to be
that's-
that Kurt Menefee guy did it, and before that it was the James Brown guy who did it. And then they were like, "Hey, let's have Terry do it one time." And then he sucked so bad that everybody laughed their butts off. So like, that was hilarious. Let's have him do it. That's the whole reason.
That's the shtick. It's
not
him,
that he's
him not being good at it is why they have him do it.
Yeah, it's because nobody cares about the highlights. Because
Doing highlights used to be an art. Like, it used to be something that you had skill to do. You were creative. You could use different sayings. But the most important thing was that you kept up with it. So you couldn't remember. Okay, remember, we worked at TV13. Ben and I worked at TV13. Not Nick, but he knew of TV13. Anyway,
you
I
did.
watched TV13.
you did. Bob Gallagher, remember Bob Gallagher, Ben? He's now the I think he's the news director at TV13, or he's the main anchor. I think he's the news director there now. Anyway, Bob's a fine guy, and he worked really hard at his job, but he was not good at ad libs. He was not good at like looking at the plays and just describing them. So he scripted everything, like everything for a highlight. He wrote it out in the script so he could read those things while he watched, not while he watched the play, but while he looked to see it was going, and then he'd start reading what he wanted to say about each play that you put together for a highlight package. And in all these big things, like the producers will put together highlight packages and then they'll script out some stuff. And that's all good and fine, except when you're just reading, you're not looking at the screen in the play and you're not describing it. So the skill and the art in it is having enough ability and confidence to just go off the cuff on that and describe what you're seeing and keep up with the action and keep it from being repetitive and keep it interactive and fun and hopefully a little bit funny. And the art of that has just gone away. It's disturbing to me because I used to really enjoy that challenge and I thought it was fun.
So you're saying that Ben's breakdowns is the best segment on YouTube based on my skills.
It's probably better. The best part of our shows. That's what everybody says, including our international audience. And I'm sad we didn't have some Ben's breakdowns tonight. I'm disappointed in you.
Well, I was taking a nap.
Okay.
At least I woke up in time. Hey,
that's true. No naps for me. Two cups of coffee today, and I was good to go. But much better week too. I'm having a good week. Keeping up with stuff. And our business officially got registered with the state, so money's gonna start rolling in soon.
You have a
Heading
business?
for the high life.
It's the Miller High Life?
Yeah. I'm gonna be David Bakhtiari's marketing director. Help him build his brand of Miller Lite beer guzzling. Get him entered in some beer guzzling tournaments. Side by side with the Nathan's hot dog eating tournament. And we'll see. I think Bach has a good chance of winning.
All right. I think we've reached the point of no return.
Nico, any parting shots?
I looked up Terry Bradshaw's salary. He makes $4 million a year, so he's doing all right.
Whoa.
It's more than all of us put together, I think.
Yeah. For
Well, yeah, I make the jack squat.
All right. Nico, it's good to see you again. We missed you, man.
I had to bring the heat tonight. Sorry, boys.
Nico, you should come prepared more often. I like that.
Yeah. I'll try it next time.
He's usually just there with his little quippy one-liners.
Yeah, I know. Usually it's like, it'd be like, Nico, what do you think about the defense? Yeah, they were good. And then that's the end of it. Or it'll be
I know how to get you guys wound up.
He does his research when he wants to criticize us, just not the Faggers, which is fine, Nico. That's fair.
Hey, I'll say this.
That's all
Brett
fair.
Favre was exciting to watch.
Fair enough.
That's good. You're coming around.
You know who also was good that Ben doesn't give enough credit to is Amon Green.
Nah.
Nico, was Amon Green really good or not?
Amon Green was very good.
Yep.
Nah.
Ben, he was also very good on Madden, which should give him some more points with you.
That's true. You got to go back and watch some Amon Green games and talk to other.
I don't even remember Amon Green. Why is I don't remember
Vikings and
Amon
Bears fans about Amon Green and see what they think, because he destroyed them all the time. Like for a
I
5
think
to
it's-
6 year period, he was just a monster.
I think
All right.
I was living in Minnesota at the time, and that's why I just like wasn't really watching Packer games as much, or like something. I don't know.
All right. Well, don't worry about it. We'll catch you next time. Nico,
Yeah,
thanks.
you gotta wrap it up.
We're out of here. Nico, take care of yourself. Everybody else, take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. No Packer game, but we'll catch you next week, Tuesday night.